You see things in front of you, you see opportunities, you see problems that exist, but you're normally not aware of. How many of you in this room have been formally trained how to concentrate in school when you were growing up? Can I see a show of hands? Like actual formal training in concentration. Nobody, right? I travel all around the world and I speak and I always ask this question. Nobody raises their hand. And if you don't learn something, and then secondly, if you don't practice it, how can you be good at it? How many of you in this room have been told to concentrate growing up? Lots, right? Just like me. I was told to concentrate on eating my food. I was told to concentrate on learning and doing my homework, but nobody told me how to. How many of you have children? How many of you tell your children to concentrate? Well, there you go, right? Do you show them how to? No, right? How do you expect them to concentrate? How do you practice concentration? You practice concentration by doing one thing at a time. The mind cannot multitask. It switches so quickly from one thing to another, it gives you the sense that you're multitasking. So bring the practice of doing one thing at a time into your life. Every time you drive, practice concentration. You're traveling in a metal box going at 110 kilometers an hour, and who's in charge? Most people don't even know. How many times have you driven and got somewhere and then go, wow, I wonder how I got here? Have you ever had that experience? Isn't that scary, going at 110 kilometers an hour in a metal box and you have no idea who's in charge? You find opportunities in your everyday day to practice concentration. What are the things that you do every day? If you live with a spouse, what a great opportunity to practice concentration. Every time you speak with your spouse, give your spouse your undivided attention. Keep your awareness on your spouse. If it drifts away, bring it back. If it drifts away, bring it back. On an average day, probably you might spend maybe 2-3 hours speaking with your spouse. That's 3 hours of practice you can clock in a day, practicing concentration. And here's something interesting as well, that you'll get. One of the greatest benefits of concentration is the power of observation. Right? So if I go to the gym and I lift weights, what will I get? Muscle, right? If I lift weights, I will get muscle. That's the byproduct of lifting weights. If I concentrate for prolonged periods of time, the natural byproduct of that is the power of observation. What is observation? In monk language, it's the mountaintop perspective. You're on the top of the mountain, you get the overview picture. So how does that translate to real life? Have you ever watched a live soccer game, for example, and with your friends at home, and you see the guy running down the soccer field with a soccer ball, and everybody in the room is going, pass it to him, pass it to him, and then he passes it to somebody else. How does everyone in the room react? Oh, you idiot, right? How much is that idiot getting paid? What, about $40 million a year before endorsements? Probably, right? So why did he make the wrong decision and you made the right decision? It's perspective, right? You're watching the game from the top of the stadium. You see the bigger picture and therefore make a better decision. That is what observation is. Observation is you taking your awareness to a higher state of mind that gives you a bigger, broader perspective on things. You see things in front of you, you see opportunities, you see problems that exist, but you're normally not aware of. As an entrepreneur, I find that to be one of my greatest assets. I see opportunities and I see obstacles in front of me all the time, therefore allowing me to make better decisions in my life on how to go forward.